Hello friends, today I'm going to tell you a story which is based on true events. This story will not only scare you, but will also make you think whether there are some unseen forces around us. So let's start this scary journey. But before that, subscribe to our channel Fearful Whisper for such scary and horrifying stories. Have you ever heard of Black Hollow Road? It's a stretch of highway out in rural Pennsylvania, surrounded by dense woods and steep hills. If you ever find yourself there, especially at night, I'd suggest turning around and finding another way. People around these parts know to stay away, and those who don't, well, they end up like I did, or worse. See, I've lived around here my whole life, and I never really believed the stories about Black Hollow Road. That was until I decided to take a drive down it one night, and I wish I never had. I was heading back from a friend's house late one evening, taking the back roads to avoid traffic. I wasn't thinking much when I took a wrong turn and found myself on Black Hollow Road. The moment I turned onto it, I felt it, this heavy feeling in my chest, like the air was too thick to breathe. I laughed it off at first, thinking I was just tired. But as I kept driving, things started to get strange. The road was narrow, winding through the forest like a snake. My headlights barely cut through the darkness, the trees looming over me, their branches like skeletal arms reaching out. The radio had been playing just fine before, but suddenly it turned to static. I tried changing the station, but it was all the same, just white noise. So I turned it off, and that's when I noticed how quiet it was. No crickets, no wind, no rustling leaves. Just silence, except for the crunch of gravel under my tires. About a mile in, I saw something up ahead, a figure standing on the side of the road. At first I thought it was a deer or maybe some lost hiker. But as I got closer, I saw it was a woman. She was wearing an old-fashioned white dress, her hair long and matted. She wasn't waving or trying to flag me down, just standing there, staring right at me. I slowed down, rolling down my window a bit. "Hey, do you need help?" I called out, but she didn't move. She just kept staring. Her eyes, there was something off about them, like they were too dark, too deep. Then she smiled. It wasn't a friendly smile, it was this slow, crooked grin that sent chills down my spine. That's when I decided to keep driving. I pressed on the gas, and as I passed her, I could have sworn I heard her whisper my name. Not loud, just soft, like a breath on the wind. "Come back." I shook it off, thinking maybe I was just tired, maybe I was hearing things. I kept my eyes on the road, but something felt wrong. The road seemed longer than it should have been, twisting and turning in ways I didn't remember. I glanced in the rearview mirror, and that's when I saw her again. The same woman, standing in the middle of the road, but I'd driven miles since I'd seen her last. There was no way she could have gotten ahead of me. I sped up. I just wanted to get off that damn road. But the further I drove, the more the road seemed to stretch on, looping back on itself. I should have been back on the main highway by then, but all I saw was more road and more trees. I felt like I was driving in circles, and my heart started pounding. I decided to pull over, get my bearings, maybe call for help. I took out my phone. No signal. That's when I heard it, the crunch of footsteps on gravel, slowly coming closer. I looked in my side mirror, and there she was, walking towards my car with that same twisted smile. I didn't wait. I floored it, the tires spinning in the dirt before catching traction. I tore down the road, adrenaline pumping, but no matter how fast I drove, I couldn't shake that feeling that she was still behind me. And then came the whispers. Soft at first, like a breeze through the trees, but then they grew louder, more insistent. Dozens of voices, all whispering my name, calling me to come back. It was like they were inside my head, echoing around, drowning out my own thoughts. "Turn around, come back, join us." I tried to block them out, but they got louder, more frantic. My hands were shaking on the wheel, and I just kept driving, praying for this road to end. But then, out of nowhere, I saw something dart across the road. A figure, fast and low to the ground, like an animal. I swerved, nearly crashing into the trees, but I managed to stay on the road. My headlights caught it for just a second, and I saw that it wasn't an animal at all. It was a child, or at least it looked like one. A little girl, dirty and barefoot, her eyes hollow and black like a woman's. She looked at me, and then she was gone, just vanished into the woods. I didn't know what to do. My mind was racing, my chest tight. I just wanted to get out of there, but the road kept twisting and I started to think maybe there was no way out. Finally, I saw a light up ahead, faint and flickering like a lantern. I thought maybe it was another car or a house, someone who could help me. I slowed down, and as I got closer, I saw it wasn't a house or a car. It was an old, rusted-out truck, its headlights dim and its engine dead. And standing next to it was the woman, that same woman in white. But this time she wasn't alone. There were others with her, men, women, and children, all dressed in old, tattered clothes, all with those hollow eyes and twisted smiles. They stood there watching me, their heads cocked to the side like they were studying me. The whispers turned to laughter, soft, mocking laughter that sent ice through my veins. I slammed on the brakes, frozen in place. My mind screamed at me to turn around, but my body wouldn't listen. The woman took a step toward me, and then another. The others followed. I could see their lips moving, whispering something I couldn't quite hear over the pounding of my own heart. And then, all at once, they stopped. The woman raised her hand, pointing right at me, and that's when I knew I had to get out. I snapped out of it, threw the car into reverse and hit the gas. I sped backward, tires screeching, until I was far enough away to turn around. I didn't look back. I didn't dare. After what felt like hours, the road finally straightened out, and I saw the highway up ahead. The moment I hit that main road, the whispers stopped. The air felt lighter, and the weight on my chest lifted. I kept driving until I was miles away, not stopping until I reached home. I don't know what I saw that night or who those people were, but I'm telling you now, Black Hollow Road isn't just a road. It's something else, something hungry, something that wants you to stay. I've never gone back, and I never will. So if you ever find yourself out there, lost and driving at night, and you see a sign for Black Hollow Road, turn around. Don't go looking for what's out there, because you might just find it. Or worse, it might just find you. Thank you for joining us on this terrifying journey. If you dare, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more chilling tales.